I'm going to be talking about understanding Pinterest. Now, it's been a minute since I've gone live. I'm back on Restream. It's super awesome, and I'm glad that you guys are here, whatever platform you're watching this on, whether it's Facebook or YouTube. And I think I have it on LinkedIn too. All right, cool. So I was asked to explain how Pinterest works. And this is a question I get all the time because lots of business owners are saying, okay, well, I think I should be on Pinterest. I've heard that I should be on Pinterest, but I'm not really sure how it works. And I'm not really sure within how that works that my business should be there. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So you might have heard that Pinterest is a great source of traffic, and you might be wondering, how does it work? Is it just pictures, right? I was talking with someone the other day and they were saying, yeah, Pinterest is just pictures. I don't get it. Or some people think all the users are housewives or teenagers that are just saving their nail art pictures. And there is some of that. Right? That's true. And there's so much more. So I'm going to demystify Pinterest. I'll explain how it works, who should be using Pinterest for business, and why it's the smartest move for your online business to have a presence on Pinterest. So most online businesses can agree, right? Our goal is to make sales. And to get sales, you need traffic to your site, right? Traffic that's full of all the kinds of people who want and need your product, your service, or your course, right? So here's why Pinterest is so powerful as a traffic source and why you should have a presence on it. So number one, it's free evergreen traffic forever. So when you put a Pinterest on Pinterest, it lives forever. That means it's evergreen. So the pin, when it goes onto Pinterest, Pinterest continues collecting data on it. And at any point in the future, it can match up and like not necessarily go viral, but at any point in the future, Pinterest continues to keep showing your pin to people who match the criteria and the keywords on that pin. So what that means is as trends happen, Pinterest will pull your pin out of the archives and serve it to people who are looking for that. So if you've done your keyword research, your pin can surface even years later. I had this happen with the pin that I made in 2014. It went viral, and I'm not saying viral is typical, and it went viral in 2021. And it still continues to be one of my top pins. And it was like a sleeper. So once you put a pin on Pinterest, it lives forever and it can continue working for you forever. Contrast that with Instagram. You put a post on Instagram and it's a good post. It dies within a few hours or a few days, right? That's the most that you're going to get from it. If you put a post on Pinterest, it lives forever. The other thing is putting pins on Pinterest is really, really easy. You can do it directly on Pinterest or you can do it with a tool like Tailwind. So it's not complicated at all. It's very simple. Either a pin is a video or it's a photo. That's it. It used to be more complicated. There used to be more options, and now it's super duper simple. You also don't have to keep feeding the beast with Pinterest, right? And so if you are posting on Instagram, for example, every day, and you stop posting on Instagram, all of your traffic, all of your attention, all of your engagement dies pretty quickly. That's not true with Pinterest. With Pinterest, you can put a few pins and they just keep doing their thing. Pinterest continues to serve those pins to people. And then based on how those people interact with or don't interact with the pin, then it serves it to more or fewer people. So that's continually working whether or not you are on Pinterest or not. Now, if you are on Pinterest posting more pins and engaging and doing all those things, that absolutely helps, right? It absolutely helps. And it's not required. So that's one of the things that I love about Pinterest because it fits with having a lifestyle, right? You don't have to be plugged in all the time, just like facing your phone all the time. And those of you who have an online business, I bet you've heard comments from your family where they say, oh, you're on your phone all the time. And you're like, well, I have to, right? You have to feed the beast, not with Pinterest. The other thing that I love about Pinterest is all pins generally on the platform. The whole app and the website are optimized for mobile. So all of the pins are vertical. Now we know that over 83% of people online are on their mobile device, whether that is a vertical, your phone, or that is like an iPad type of thing. So because of that, all the pins are vertical. So everything there is optimized for mobile. So if you make your content vertical, It's very easy for people to add it to Pinterest, and it absolutely lends itself really, really well to what's going on Pinterest. Also, we want to talk a little bit about who is on Pinterest. So this is another reason why you should be on Pinterest. People that you would not expect to be on Pinterest are on Pinterest. I was speaking at a conference, and if you've followed me for a while, you've heard this story. I was speaking at a conference a few years ago, and an SEO expert came up to me and he said, "Hey, I need to talk to you because I was there speaking about Pinterest." And he's like, "I really need to talk to you because I've got this client and we're doing all this SEO and they don't have a presence on Pinterest, but we're getting all this traffic from Pinterest." And I was like, "Well, tell me a little bit more about the business." And they were making industrial conveyor belts. So people are on Pinterest looking for the weirdest stuff. You may think they're not looking for your stuff, but they are. And so another reason to be on Pinterest is because your people are there. It is housewives, it is teenagers, right? Absolutely are those people, and the nail art people, and so much more. And I'll tell you a little bit how to do that, how to figure out who is on Pinterest in a little bit. And then the other thing that's great with Pinterest is it's really easy to amplify and get some momentum behind posts if you have a network. And by that, I mean, maybe you have an email list where you can send your pins out to people. Maybe you have people you can ask to share, a friend group, a mastermind, peers, other food bloggers. If you're a food blogger, for example, is really easy to amplify and it's not spammy. Whereas on other platforms, it can be really spammy and it can overload your audience, right? If you're on Instagram and you're sharing all of your mastermind people's stories all the time to your story, it kind of clouds your brand. That doesn't happen on Pinterest, which is super awesome. So let's talk about what Pinterest is and what you need to be doing on Pinterest. So the first key to understanding how Pinterest works is to realize that it's monetized with ads. So every platform that is monetized with ads, that means that they make money by displaying ads on the site. And they make money based on how many people are looking at those ads. So if people aren't looking at the ads, people are leaving the site because they're having a bad experience, then they won't make money. So the flip side of that, the other side of the coin, is that the platform needs to make sure that people are having an amazing experience. So in order to do that, they're going to make sure that they serve the best content. When you really understand that a platform that's monetized with ads has this need to make a great user experience, what that does is it creates a void. It creates a void and a need and a deficit regarding organic content, and not just any organic content, but high quality organic content. Is imagine that you came to a platform and the whole platform was just ads, right? We've heard this complaint about Facebook. We've heard this complaint about Twitter and other platforms that have ads. If you come to the social media platform and it's all ads, you're going to leave. You're not going to come back because that's a bad experience. So just like Facebook, Instagram, etc., that are monetized with ads, Pinterest has the same issue. They make money when they show ads, and they have to put really good organic content between the ads, because if they didn't, people would leave, right? They'd say, "I go to Pinterest, everything's ads. I don't want that." So that means that they have a need for high quality organic content. So why not yours? Why not yours? Right? So this is why you want to optimize your content on Pinterest for search results. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to do keyword research and you're going to optimize your pins. And I'll be doing a future video on how to do keyword research and then how to apply that research to your pin so that you're really optimizing. That's what the process of optimizing is. It's researching the keywords that people are using to find your content and then strategically using those keywords within the pin and within the content so people can find it, right? Because that's what Pinterest uses to figure out, okay, this post is about chicken tacos, for example, and then show it to people who are interested in chicken tacos. So what you got to do first is, after you understand that Pinterest is monetized with ads, and that makes user experience key. And in order to create a good user experience, they have to have high quality organic content to put between the ads, so the whole feed's not ads. And you know that in order to show up as that high quality content, you need to optimize so you show up in those search results. So your pin is suggested to people who are interested in topics that you post about or interested in topics related to what you sell. That's what you've got to do. Now, once you've gotten people's attention and you're creating that high quality content, that's where people derail. This is a place that I see people make a lot of mistakes is they say, oh, I was getting a lot of Pinterest traffic in the past and I'm not getting Pinterest traffic now. I need more traffic. And raise your hand if you've done this. Like I've done this, I'm raising my hand. Because I've been a blogger for a lot of years. I used to get massive traffic from Pinterest. I just put any old thing up and I'd get traffic and it was amazing. Now we get less traffic from Pinterest overall. There's a lot of factors for that, competition, etc. And Pinterest continues to deliver a 10x more return on effort and on traffic than the other social media platforms. So nobody's sitting here saying, you know what's a really great source for traffic? It's Facebook, right? We know that Pinterest is a good source for traffic. And we're not getting the millions and millions of page views for very low effort that we used to. So what do we need to do instead? We've got to shift our approach. And that means when we get the page views that do come from Pinterest, maybe instead of getting 1 million page views a month from Pinterest, you're getting 100,000, right? So you're getting 10% what you used to. People would be like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. And Pinterest is terrible. And it's like, it's still sending you 100,000 people a month. Here's the thing is we've got to do something different on our site. Okay. The place where when you have a pin, you put it on Pinterest, it has a link where you can put a link and it goes to your website or whatever page you want it to go to. You want it to go to your Etsy shop. You want it to go to a YouTube video. Any of those things are options. So you get to choose what link you put there. Now, why are you putting that link? What do you want people to do when they get to that link? And most people say, oh, I just want them to buy my product. Well, most Pinterest traffic is cold, right? We know cold traffic converts at like 1 or 2%. So if you were to take those 100,000 people and convert at 1 or 2%, you might be converting like, what is that, 1,000 people? That's not very much. That's not very much in the grand scheme. And that's assuming that like all 100,000 came to the same page on your website, which is probably not the case. So what we've got to do is change our expectation of that traffic coming from Pinterest that is not going to come from Pinterest and just purchase right now, right away. We can then change our expectation and say, okay, they're going to come to this piece of content. And generally the kind of content that does well on Pinterest is content that solves problems and content that inspires. And when you're trying to sell a product, you want to do content that solves problems. So they're coming to your content because they have a problem that they want to solve. You know that your product is a solution to that problem, but they don't know you yet. They haven't warmed up to you. They don't quite trust you. So what do you got to do to build that know, like, and trust? Get them on your email list. So this is absolutely key to Pinterest traffic strategy today. You've got to get them on your email list or captured in some other way so that you can continue the conversation with them after they leave. Okay, because the traffic is going to be one and done. They might come back to you again because, like, let's say you post chicken taco recipe. You probably have other Mexican food recipes. They're probably also interested in other Mexican food recipes. They may come to your site again. But the goal is to make the most out of the traffic that you are getting. So yes, we're not going to have the crazy virality that we used to where you could get, 6 million page views a month from Pinterest. And we can be smart about it and get the most out of that traffic. So just a quick recap, Pinterest is monetized with ads. Because of that, user experience is key. That creates a deficit for high quality organic content for the platform to put between the ads. And that content can be yours. How do you get that content in? How do you get your content to be featured between those ads? What do you got to do? You've got to optimize your pin so it shows up in search results. And then once you do that and you start getting traffic to your site, you've got to optimize the page on your site to capture those visitors on email. Maybe you pixel them and you retarget them with ads on other platforms. There's lots of things you can do, but email is going to be the most powerful. And once you get them on email where you can continue the conversation, then you nurture them to buy. So here's how. All right. So I'm going to tell you really quickly what to do. Number 1, you're going to find the content that you want to send people to on your site. Number 2, you're going to go to Pinterest and figure out what keywords people are using to search for content like yours. And how is it solving a problem? Number 3, you're going to optimize your pin with that keyword research so that people can find you. Number 4, you're going to make sure that on that blog post or whatever destination page you're sending them to, that you give them an option to get onto your email list. That way you can continue the conversation with them there. And number 4, you're then going to nurture them and have conversations in those emails to move them along in the process to buy. All right, so what I need to know from you now, thank you guys for watching, is what did you learn? What questions do you have? And what do I need to know, right? Maybe there's something more that you want to know about Pinterest. If you're ready to take the next step, I've got a free guide for you. Just leave a comment, yes, down here in the comment section, and I will reach out to you in messages, and we will continue our conversation there. Thank you so much for watching. Now I got to figure out how to turn this off because I haven't done this for a minute. All right, where's the button? I know that there's a button. Super fun.